So one of the great challenges in teaching literature is fostering robust discussion around often challenging texts. In this video, I'm going to show you how I use a tool called Hypotheses to help my students crowdsource information around these texts. So a little bit more about the societies, the histories, the art movements, the influences that inspired and gave rise to these texts. Also, it's a really great tool that you can use to help students annotate, and that makes sure that they, of course, complete the assignments, but they complete them in a meaningful and fun way. The third thing that I love about this tool is that when you have a whole group of students collectively annotating something, it really demonstrates how accessible literary analysis is and the diversity of opinions within a classroom. So that's something that I think all literature classes are aiming to do. So why else do I love Hypotheses? It is a free tool. It is also something that allows you to create notes or annotate anything on the internet. And for that reason, as an instructor, I don't like using technology for technology's sake. I don't like to introduce tools into my classroom that can only be used in my classroom, and Hypotheses is certainly not that. It is a tool that you can use throughout your college career and in your professional life. In fact, it's something that I use in my workflows every day. So with that, my name is Allegra. I have been teaching English for 15 years at the post-secondary level, and I'm really excited to share this approach with you. So in this video, we are going to do three things. We're going to review the assignment that I give my students. We're going to walk through signing up and setting up Hypotheses for your own classroom. And we'll talk a little bit about grading, annotations, and feedback, and the ways that I've approached that in my work. So this is the assignment that I provide my students. I call them reading and annotations, or RNAs for short. You can find this full assignment in the description below, linked. Basically, these take the place of reader's journals or quizzes or other formative assessments that you might be using in your class to ensure that students are doing the readings. You can see that I am providing pretty clear guidelines in terms of the amount of word count that I expect. So 250 words of annotation. And then I'm also defining in this box what I mean by annotation. So students can respond to the questions that their classmates might have. They can provide definitions of difficult or unfamiliar words. They can ask questions themselves of the class. They can close read for things like formalist elements, so word choice, metaphor, setting, characterization, repetition. They can offer opinions on what it is that they're reading. They can also embed multimedia, which is one of my favorite things about Hypotheses. So students can embed YouTube videos, memes, images. They can, of course, hyperlink out, which is really what the research piece is about. They can provide additional links, text, context, historical references, allusions is a really big thing. So these are the ways in which I'm guiding my students towards in terms of the quality of the annotations and sort of the quantity of the annotations I would like. You can see right below this that I have a section called Submitting Annotations. So I'm giving really clear guidelines to my students as well in terms of how they set this up for the semester. So I'm going to guide you through this in just a second, but basically they need to sign up for an Hypotheses account, add the Chrome extension, locate the assigned readings, join the course group, and then they can go forth and annotate. So I'll be taking you through that in the next section. So in terms of setting up your Hypotheses account, we're going to start on the main page, web.hypothesis, and we're going to click, as you can imagine, Get Started. So you may be in an institution that has this embedded in your learning management system, so you might actually have Hypotheses as a tool you can use in Blackboard or Canvas or any of the other LMSs you might be working on. I have never been in an institution that does that, so I've always just used the free web app, and that's what I'm going to demonstrate for you here. So you'll click Get Started with the web app. You'll create your account, and I already have an account, which I'm logged into, so let me sign out of that. There we go. Once again, create account, and what I'm going to do here is use the one that I already have, and I've read the guidelines, the terms and conditions. So basically you can create a username of any type that you want. It can be your real name or not. You're going to provide your email address here, which I see this is incorrect here. And you will get notifications if anybody replies to your comments or things like that through this email address. And then you'll provide a password, hopefully one that you remember. You're going to click sign up. I'm going to see a red warning sign because I already have an account, but there it is. But you will get a confirmation and a prompt to look in your inbox for an email that looks like this. Please activate your account. You'll click on that. You will click on this. It's going to prompt you to log in one more time. Since I've already stored that password, I can just click log in, and here I am. So what you'll see in terms of kind of the geography of this, you've got your username up here. You have groups that you belong to here. You have the number of annotations that you've done, and place where you can edit your profile. So the next thing that I need to do at this stage is I have my account now, but how do I actually do annotations? Well, I need to embed the Chrome extension. So I'm going to go to the Chrome Web Store. I'm going to find this page, Hypothesis Web and PDF Annotation. I'm going to add to Chrome. I'm going to add that extension, add it. All right, and you'll see that it pops up here as a little gray icon. I'm going to click this jigsaw piece. I'm going to pin it so I can see it. And now I have officially added it to the Chrome browser. So I should, at this point, be able to annotate anything on the internet. So if I go to this New Yorker article, for example, it's grayed out here. But if I click into black, I'm going to see this arrow and this eye icon and then this page icon. I'm going to click out. And I can, for example, highlight this, click annotate. I have to log in again, which I will do. There I am. One more time. And I can put here examples of original Middle English. And then I have an option here. So I can either post to public, which you'll see here, that I'm in the public page. So I can post that. If I post that to public, the entire internet can see what I've posted. I can also post only to me. So if I want this to be a note that only I have access to, I can do that. So I might post only to me in this example. But basically you can see once you have the Chrome extension, you can toggle it on and off just by clicking this button. Gray is off, black is on. And you will see this little arrow, and anywhere that you visit on the internet, you'll be able to create an annotation. So what I have done so far is I've created my username, I've opened the web extension. What I need to do now is go back into my Hypothesis account, which I can find here. And I'm going to create a new group. And I'm going to call this new group Literature Group for Classroom. Okay, and I'm going to create this group. So now that I've created the group as the instructor, I have this URL and I can just copy it here, go back into the assignment, and here that you see it highlighted, join our course group, I would just copy and paste that there. Now I've got that, and that's how students are going to all be able to sign up and have access to the same course group. Once I have a course group going, what I can do is I can now visit that course group and I can see all of the annotations that the group has done here. There haven't been any yet, but it also means that I can come back into that same article and I can say, you know what, I want to annotate just to the course group. So I'm going to toggle here, go to that new group I just selected, and now I can post only to me, and I can post to new group. Post to new group, only people in my classroom will be able to see what I have just annotated there. So as an instructor, it doesn't matter if a student posts to public or to your classroom group. You'll be able to see their annotations either way via their username, which brings me to the next step. So once you've got this here, and I'm going to quickly just undo that because I'm going to come back to this link a little bit later in this video. But once you've got that, your course group, you then need to create a spreadsheet. So in the course, in the description below, I'm going to provide a link to like a basic spreadsheet like this. It's going to prompt you to make a copy. Once you've done that, you'll put in your first name, last name, your email address, and your Hypothesis username. As I've done here. And so you as the instructor, I recommend that you have obviously your own account and that you let students see annotations that you make on the text. That's really helpful for them. If you're interested, my typical normal annotation username is Ms. Allegra, and you'll see that I have over like 2,000 annotations under that name. So you're welcome to look that up if you're interested. But this is a really important step because if you don't have the usernames of your students, you won't be able to find them on Hypothesis. So here's the rubric that I share with my students just to let them know kind of what I'm looking for in terms of content. So you'll see that I have 5 criteria here. The first is number. So I want 250 words, but I don't want them as one comment. I want them kind of consistently throughout the text. I want like a variety, right? So I don't just want 250 words of questioning. And again, kind of going back to that box of questioning, glossary, replying, multimedia, I would like to see a variety. When I talk about depth, it's really like, are the students considering the author's purpose, the effect of the text on readers, that sort of thing. In terms of research, I would like to see any allusions defined. I would like to see any historical context that can be brought in, anything else that can just make the text clearer for the rest of the class. And then big picture. So are they noting where the author's tone shifts? Are they noting major themes? Are they noting kind of the bigger picture of this reading and its significance? And so those are just some guiding criteria that I give my students. You can grade it on something like this, or you can just grade it for word count, whatever it is that is easier for you, or both. So you want to come back to your spreadsheet. This is a spreadsheet that all of your students should have access to. Again, you're going to put this link on the assignment spreadsheet, and just make sure that you have the share permissions as anyone with the link is an editor. That way students can input their names. It'll be first name, last name, email, and Hypothesis username, just as you did. And this is how you are going to be able to find all of the annotations that your students do. So you'll take this, I recommend that you copy it. You're going to go to Hypothes.is/search, and then you're going to type in user, and then you can copy paste that username, whatever your students have provided, and you will see something like this. So I can see that this student has done 6 annotations on Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. If I click on this, I can see all of the annotations that the student posted. And as you can see, these are all in a private course group called Spring 19. So again, if it's public, if it's in the course group, it doesn't matter. You'll see them all here. And basically what I can do now is I can look and see, okay, so this student is giving us some historical context on St. John's Day, which is exactly 6 months after Christmas. Christmas is a really important thing in this reading because it takes place at Christmas time. At least the inciting incident takes place at Christmas time. And they've offered a picture of a musical instrument that's referenced here, a kettle drum, and a way for the rest of the class to be able to visualize that. Example of alliteration is being noted here, so noticing language, reference to Brutus of Troy, so an allusion here, a historical allusion, and then like a link to a YouTube video. So this is a great variety. There's a lot of value in these annotations. I am noticing that it's a little bit short of my word count that I had required. So one of the things to look out for as you're grading is that when students reply to each other, those don't show up on this page. To find those, you'll have to go to Visit Annotations in Context, and you will come into this. If you come into the correct group, so in this case I'm looking at Spring 19, and I type in that same student username, here I'll see, okay, all of the posts that I just saw, and here at the top I can see a reply. So this little arrow and this line here is indicating that that the student replied to another student, and that should be also included as part of the annotations. So occasionally you have to do that. For most students, they produce enough that you don't have to go back and look, but in case you do, this is another way that you can visualize and see all of the annotations that a student has done in your class. Another kind of pro tip I have for you is if you come back here, you take this URL for this particular student, and you can come back into your spreadsheet and you can link it here. And that way, just to make it even easier for you to grade, you now have a hyperlink that will take you right to that student's annotations the entire semester, because they'll all appear here under that student username. So that's one way that you can grade these assignments. Of course, it's up to you how you want to interpret these, but that's how I found to be the easiest and most effective way to see what students are contributing to the course and how I can give them credit for that. So implementing Hypothesis in your literature classes really can enhance student engagement and understanding of the course materials. You can use these as standalone assignments. You can also use these as pre-reading for in-class discussions. I always found that this was a really great way to break the ice for my in-person classes, because students had already had dialogue kind of in a third space offline. online rather, and then they come into the classroom and they're able to expand upon their points or to ask each other clarifying questions. It was always just a really lovely way for me to have those discussions. Another thing that I would sometimes do is pull comments that I found really interesting or kind of funny, and I would start my class kind of with those comments, and we would kind of begin that way. So a lot of things that you can do in terms of allowing this to be a way that you enter into discussions in your class. And to successfully incorporate this, all you have to do is follow what we've gone through in this video. So create a clear assignment with specific requirements and guidelines, provide instructions for setting up Hypothesis accounts and joining a course group, establish a grading rubric for assessing student annotations, and utilize a spreadsheet and Hypothesis search function to be able to grade your students' work efficiently. So I invite you all to adapt this approach to fit your needs, to unlock the potential of Hypothesis, to really enhance your students' learning experience, and to share anything that you can and that you have done in the comments below. If you have any questions, you can also post down there or contact me directly. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it.